Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So let's do this iOS versus Android from a lifetime iOS user. I'm going to use Android for the first time in my life in 2021. Guys, I've got the Pixel 4a in my hands and I've done an unboxing video last week. If you haven't checked that, I will link it down below. But the main reason for me to get this Android phone was to try out the operating system for the first time in my life. See, I've always been an iPhone user. I never found a real reason to test out Android as I was more than happy with the iPhone, and I was with the iPhone since the very first one. But now I want to try this and check out the other most popular operating system in the world. I've been using this phone non-stop for a week and I've tested everything there is on Android, and in this video I'm going to give you my honest opinion on the things where I felt Android was better and the things where iOS does better. So grab your snacks, sit back and relax. Here is Android versus iOS from a lifetime iPhone user. So let's get on with the video. First and foremost, I have to tell you guys that I was expecting something dramatic, especially the way YouTubers and Android fans make it sound. But I was actually surprised as the operating systems felt very similar. Yes, Android is superior if you are that user who likes to install launchers on top or customize home screens to the max. But all those customizations of Android home screens I've seen only on YouTube. Everywhere else I saw, most of the users just use standard screens with a bit of customization. I spoke to my hardcore Android friends, guys. Now they are real fans of Android and they don't use anything else apart from that. And I've asked them to screenshot their home screen and send it. You know what? It looked more or less like this. Just a few widgets here and there that are different. Moving on, first let's look at all things which Android does slightly better. Starting right with that haptic feedback. This might be more of a hardware thing, but it feels so cool. It would be good to get a bit of feedback, especially when you're touching a pane of glass. It's a shame that Apple doesn't offer this, especially when they have a custom haptic engine built into their iPhones and Apple Watches. Next is that option to have always on display. Again, this is more to do with the hardware, but it is so cool to have. Next, let's look at customization. I do admit that there are loads of options and you can go to town with the options available directly from Google or from custom third-party apps. You can truly make this phone look like something which has personally been made for you. I found this both good and bad. Good as you can really go creative wild on your phone. Bad because I don't know how comfortable I should be to install a third-party launcher on a phone where I store sensitive information, passwords, and do banking on. But yes, if 100% customization is something which you're looking for, then it's got to be Android. Apple will probably never allow such levels of customization. Next, a very simple thing, wallpapers. I know it's pretty minute, but personally I feel that a new wallpaper will feel like having a new phone. It brings so much variation to your phone, and having brilliant first-party wallpapers is amazing. Apple does some amazing wallpapers and it shows every time when they release a new phone or an iPad. But the problem is, look at this. In the end, this is what we get. But if you look at Android, I've got loads of wallpapers and they've even categorized them. Apple should really take a bit of inspiration here. Then that integration with Google Apps and services. Obviously, this is a phone made by Google and Android and Google Apps work perfectly well together. For example, if I have to log into my YouTube account on the iPhone, I have to wait for an authorization code. Whereas on this Pixel 4a, I can just authorize it via the phone and log in. So the integration is much more natural and it is much more seamless. And coming to Google Maps are so much better than Apple Maps, and Android operating system takes full advantage of that. Next, Google Voice Assistant is far superior than Siri. And in my tests, it was always more accurate and it remembers previous conversations as well. And Siri, well, that's a strange thing because if you recollect, Siri was the first digital voice assistant to feature on a mobile phone. And Google Assistant and Alexa came later. Siri was the coolest when it first came out, and everyone wanted Siri to open the pod bay doors or ask the meaning of life, and it came back with cool replies. I'm not sure what happened after that, but Siri took a nosedive and Google Assistant came into the limelight, and it had all that raw processing power of Google to back it up. But thankfully, Siri is starting to get better, especially with the recent iOS software update. It's managing to get its personality back and is being more useful. Next is the settings section. See, here I was expecting layers on top of layers of setting screens because when having so much customization on the operating system, all those settings will have to sit somewhere. But surprisingly, when I opened the settings section, it was simple and easy, with important ones right at the top and the advanced ones one level down. iPhone always used to be like that, clean, and the settings were well organized, but I don't know what happened. We now have layers and layers of settings. Every time I want to find something, I always end up using search because they are hidden within layers. Next is this amazing feature, and I was pleasantly surprised that something like this even exists in today's world. To transfer your files, videos, and movies onto your Android device. For this, you do not need a middleware like iTunes. You just plug the device to your computer, change the settings to file transfer, and it makes your phone behave like a portable drive. You can just drag and drop files into the relevant folders and voila, you're done. I wish Apple allowed this, especially when it comes to files, as using iTunes all the time makes it a bit cumbersome. Then a cool feature which is absolutely missing from iOS, and it is on the top of my wish list: the ability to have password protection on folders. This really is a must on any smart device, and Android does it in style. Next, the keyboard. I knew this before testing as well, guys. Android always had the best default keyboard. Swipe is really a cool feature which Android had it forever, and Apple recently introduced it. I love how it allows various themes and colors to be added. I love the floating mode, which is super handy, especially if you have a bigger screen. And the text editing feature is simply awesome. It makes it so easy to navigate, select, cut, copy and paste without having to use approximation or navigate the touchscreen. I do miss the tap and hold to get the full trackpad option, which is on iOS though. I also love how the settings icon is built right into your keyboard so you can get straight to it. It's not just the keyboard, but it's like this everywhere. For example, look at camera. You just tap on settings, go to the relevant section, change your settings and tap back to get to the application. This is so nice and convenient. I also love the Google Translate option built right into the keyboard. It is so handy. So that's Android done. Now coming to the things which I feel iOS does it slightly better, starting right off with more defined default apps. For example, iTunes is really popular, and this is the way you control your music on your phone. And then you have Apple TV, which is the media player. Then there is an app for iBooks. There is an app for movie editing. So you see, you've got more defined default apps for all the important tasks. Whereas on Android, I found this to be all over the place. For example, there is YouTube Music, which controls your music library as well, but it is a part of YouTube. So I wasn't sure if I was playing a song or a video, or even it was free or I will be charged. Which brings me to the Files app. I always thought that Android had a better file management system, but for me, it felt confusing. See, on Apple, we have Files app with Cloud Drive as an option. You can store locally or on the cloud. It's very simple and clean, and you manage everything via this one Files app. On Google, you have Google Drive, then Docs, then the native Files app, which by the way has everything from pictures to photos to video files. It is a bit messy to figure out things. Added to that, Google has a tendency to change things, introduce new services without discontinuing old. I mean, look at this. When it comes to video conferencing options on the phone, there is something called as Duo. Then you have Hangouts, which now they want to call it as Google Meet. I mean, come on Google, just make up your mind. Apple has well-defined apps for all these defaults. iTunes for media and music, Apple TV for movies and TV shows, iBooks for ebooks and novels, Files app for both local cloud and external connected storage, FaceTime for video calls, and iMessages for messages. iMessage is much better and FaceTime is seamless between iOS users. Next is family sharing. Now I can't believe that this is coming from Apple, who usually have premium price tags on most products. But with family sharing, you can buy an app, movie, ebook or album once, and it can be shared between all your family members. Apple allows about 6 family members to be added to an account, and this is so much convenient. See, I bought this Interstellar movie for about £11 and all my family members on my Apple account can access it. Or this album by Oscar winner composer A.R. Rahman, which I just paid once and all my family members can listen to it on their Apple devices. Or even something like LumaFusion, which costed about £30. Everyone from my family members can download this for free. This really is so cost efficient and useful. Which brings me to the quality of apps. This is a given fact, guys. Apple has much better selection of apps than Android. I mean, look at this. The best touchscreen based video editing app, LumaFusion, is not present on Google Play Store. Apple has much more stricter control over its apps, so I never have to worry about installing antivirus software on any of my iOS devices. Whereas I was surprised to find out that this is much more common on Android phones. Also, just within the week of using this phone, I have experienced app crashing. I had to delete and reinstall Netflix as it just stopped working. And Google Voice Assistant was non-responsive as well. All this happened within a span of a week. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen on iOS, but it definitely wasn't that frequent. I can't remember the last time that I've deleted an app and reinstalled it because it stopped working. So iOS, in my experience, definitely has better quality of apps. Next is by far the biggest weakness of Android, especially under Google's hood. The absence of a decent tablet or smartwatch directly from Google. Yes, you can buy from other manufacturers who use Android tablet OS and Google Watch OS, but hand on your heart, can you say that they are as well defined and as well supported as the Apple Watch or the Apple iPad? The support is all over the place from other manufacturers. Samsung tried Watch OS and then they went and made their own Tizen OS with limited success. Tablet-wise, there's no proper defined path. It's all over the place, and many important apps on Android tablets are simply blown-up versions of their phone apps. This by far is the biggest weakness which Android has, and this is the biggest reason why I will never switch to Android. Google should really start making their own hardware with proper defined budget, mid-range and high-end options. At the moment, they've just got a phone, and that too in the budget price range. They used to do Nexus tablets before, not sure what happened, but they just stopped doing them. And I want to single out Apple Watch just a bit more. This watch started out like a fashion thing, but now it turned out to be one of the best innovations of this decade. It's become everything from a style icon to fitness tracker to health monitor to a cellular phone. Nothing else comes close to Apple Watch, and the way Apple constantly supports it with software updates is brilliant. And in its current iteration, it is at the peak of its development. I saw a comment somewhere to a question someone wrote, state 5 reasons why you wouldn't switch to Android, and this person commented back Apple Watch 5 times as the reason. Even for me, it is the same, actually almost the same. I'll give 2 points for Apple Watch, 2 points for iPads, and 1 for the ecosystem. And I want to squeeze in a bonus point also this time for M1 MacBooks. This, I feel, is the strongest strength which Apple has over Android. A strong army of useful devices supporting each other, and this by far is the biggest reason why I can't switch to Android. So guys, that concludes this comparison. My first Android experience has been a pleasant one. Some really nice features from Google and a very clean operating system if you don't start digging in deeper. And this $300 Pixel 4a makes you even wonder, do you really need to spend over $1,000 for a phone? My only gripe with it is the absence of any sort of water or dust resistance. It doesn't have to be IP certified, but just basic splash and dust resistance would have been amazing. So my first Android experience ends here, guys. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the last one. I'll keep revisiting, so please stay with me, guys, for all those updates. Also, people do say that Android has got better notifications, but I feel both are alright. I mean, Android shows these tiny icons of apps where you have notifications, and iOS doesn't. But I like this on both the phones. They both do notifications, and Apple has definitely caught up here. So that's it for the video, guys. I do apologize, it's been a little lengthy one. And please do mention down in the comments if you agree with me, or if there are anything which I've missed and you want me to check it out, because mind you guys, this has just been a week since I had this phone. So I'm pretty sure I might have missed some key features. So please hit that like button if you liked this video, and if you liked it further, the subscribe button is just a few pixels away. Please hit that, show your support, and I will continue making these kind of videos for you. And if you have stayed until here, thanks a lot for staying with me until the end. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.